and lead to Samaria, where the men were fed and sent home to Cayce. 13-23. During the reign of Ahab's son Jehoram, the Syrians besieged Samaria, causing such a famine that some persons ate their own children. But then, in fulfillment of Elisha's prophecy, the famine was broken in one night when Jehovah caused the Syrians to flee in panic and leave behind their foodstuffs. 2 Cayce 24-29. 7. 1-20. Rival of Jerusalem. From time to time the rivalry and animosity between Samaria and Jerusalem, the respective capitals of the northern and southern kingdoms, burst into open warfare. On one occasion the king of Judah, when about to attack Edom, sent 100,000 mercenaries of Israel back home on orders from Jehovah. And even though paid 100 silver talents $660,600, these Israelites were so enraged that they raided and plundered Judean towns from Samaria clear to Beth-horon. 2 Ch 25. 5-13 The king of Judah, flushed with victory over Edom, then picked a quarrel with the king of Samaria, a quarrel that was not settled until all the gold and silver from the house of Jehovah and the king's treasury in Jerusalem had been carried off to Samaria. 2 Cayce 14. 8-14. 2 Ch 25. 17-24 years later, however, after a defeat of King Ahaz of Judah, in order to escape Jehovah's anger, the men of Israel returned a certain captives and booty that had been taken to Samaria. 2 Ch 28. 5-15. The city of Samaria was eventually destroyed for its idolatry, moral corruption, and continued disregard for God's laws and principles. 2 Cayce 17. 7-18 Repeatedly Jehovah warned her rulers and their subjects by the mouths of such prophets as Isaiah 8. 4. 9. 9, Hosea 7. 1. 8. 5, 6. 10. 5, 7. 13. 16, Amos 3. 9. 8. 14, Micah 1. 1, 5, 6, and others 1 Cayce 20. 13, 28, 35-42. 22. 8 as well as Elijah and Elisha. Later on, after her destruction, other prophets referred to Samaria as a warning example to those who would reject Jehovah's instructions. 2 Cayce 21. 10-13. J 23. 13. S 16. 46, 51, 53, 55. 23. 4, 33. Later history. In 742 BCE Shalmaneser V, king of Assyria, laid siege to Samaria, but the city was able to hold out for nearly 3 years. When it finally fell in 740 BCE, many of the leading inhabitants were deported into exile and settled in Mesopotamia and Media. Whether credit for the ultimate capture of the city goes to Shalmaneser V or to his successor Sargon II is still not a settled question. 2 Cayce 17. 1-6, 22, 23. 18. 9-12. See Sargon. With the fall of Samaria to the Assyrians, the Bible's detailed history of the city ends. Thereafter, mention of the city is often, though not always 2 Cayce 23. 18. Agate. 5, made by way of a reminder of what becomes of those who rebel against Jehovah. 2 Cayce 18. 34. 21. 13. Issa 10. 9-11. 36. 19 The Bible relates that after the destruction of Jerusalem and the subsequent assassination of Gedaliah, 80 men from Shechem, Silo, and Samaria came down toward Mizpah and encountered Ishmael the assassin. Ishmael slaughtered many of these men, sparing some of them who promised to show him where they had treasures of wheat, barley, oil, and honey hidden. J 41. 1-9. Secular records relate some of Samaria's history from and after the days of Alexander O Textoi Acute Muritra Longo, Samaritan 847 in Roman times. Its splendor was due to the building program of Herod the Great, who renamed the city Sebaste, a feminine Greek form for the Latin name Augustus, in honor of Augustus, the first emperor. Today the Arabic name Tapestry preserves the name Herod gave it. It is therefore not surprising that excavations at this site have uncovered the remains of a number of different periods in its history. Some of these remains are from the days of Israel's kings. 2. The territory of the 10-tribe Northern Kingdom of Israel. The name of its capital city, Samaria, was sometimes applied to this entire area. For example, when Ahab was called the king of Samaria, it was not with the restricted meaning of being king of the city only, but in the broader sense as king of the 10 tribes. 1 Cayce 21. 1 So, 2. The cities of Samaria refer to those scattered throughout the 10 tribes, not to towns clustered around the capital. 2 Cayce 23. 19. This same expression recorded at 1 Cayce 13. 32 as if used before the city Samaria was built, if not prophetic, may have been introduced by the compiler of the king's account. The famine in Samaria in the days of Ahab was extensive throughout the whole kingdom of Samaria and, in fact, even took in Phoenicia, extending it